You bet. It was a nice day in the stadium. I thought things went how we hoped they would. Thought the guys caught the ball really well at receiver. It was good to see that. A lot of guys got to make plays. Devin threw it well and came out of it healthy, which is the only way you lose in a game like this is to have an injury. So it's good to see Chris Dunn hit that field goal. But a conclusion to a very productive spring for a lot of players. And, for the new guys, you get to install and see them learn and grow and then how they, start gaining confidence. And then some of the guys that aren't as new, but have only been here for a year, to see Julian Gray and Anthony Smith make plays like that is kind of what we were hoping to see. And then to get the ball to some of our young backs. But it's a valuable day in the stadium. I thought Gigi's, being with us was special. It's fun to have that moment at the end of the first half with them and to see them score a touchdown, get to celebrate with our players. So appreciate the fans that came out today. I know it's Masters weekend, a lot of stuff to watch on TV, and the fact that we had so many fans here meant a lot. So it was a good day's work and excited for what's to come. Questions?
Jonas, go ahead, please.
Coach, you mentioned Julian and Anthony Smith, and even one of the twins, I think it was Fred. Is that pretty much the chemistry you've been seeing all spring between them and Devin heading to the game today?
Not necessarily. Those guys have taken a lot of reps with Ben too, so it hasn't just been with Devin, but and they've been up and down. I think talking about three different guys, but there's been great improvement in all three that you mentioned. There's been a couple days where they weren't as crisp. The first scrimmage in particular, then I thought our second scrimmage, they came back and made some plays, and then today it was really good, to see those guys. I thought the tight ends as a unit caught the ball well today. There were several of them that got involved in the pass game, but it's a good group of young players in those positions you mentioned, and it's good to see Porter get one in the end zone too. And I thought Keon Lassane caught the ball well. So a lot of positives.
Todd Gibson.
Yeah, Dave. So for the next 3 months, the kids kind of go their separate ways and you can't have much hands-on with them. What's this like for a coach at that point, just, I guess, worrying about your kids doing the right things and staying out of trouble and also working hard for the next season?
Well, it's not hands off. I mean, we still get to be with them 8 hours a week. So, we'll be around these guys. They will get some time now. We're going to give them a little time here just to get healthy and get ready for final exams. But when we hit our summer one, middle of May, that month of May and first 2 weeks of June, we will be very hands-on with the guys. And so, I think it's good to get a little time away from us here to kind of decompress and get healthy and finish strong in the classroom. But they'll come back summer one ready to work.
Matt Carter.
Yeah, I kind of had a two-part question about Jordan Houston. Just your thoughts on how he did this spring with the opportunity that he has in front of him right now, and also kind of in this era of the transfer portal, what it says about him that he was kind of willing to be patient and wait for his turn.
Yeah, I said this to Jordan's mother this morning. I'm really proud of him. I think he showed great character. He came here for a reason. He had good players in front of him. I think he maximized his role while they were here. He continued to work and earn our trust, and we completely trust him, and we're excited for him. It's a great moment. To me, it's a great lesson. And I think, when you watch some of these teams, like even in basketball, you're seeing a lot of these guys that stuck around on their teams, get into the Final Four. It was an older group of teams in the Final Four in basketball, and we are an older team. And I think, my hat's off to Jordan for having that resiliency and staying persistent. And as far as his spring, he had a good spring. We're excited about what he does. He's playing fast. He knows the offense, and he can do a lot of things, whether he's catching the ball, running the ball, or in protection. He can do a lot for us. So excited about him. Beard's looking good, Matt. Look at that thing, man.
Jonas, go ahead.
Coach, Anthony Milton started at left tackle, and McKay got some snaps at the left tackle as well. What do you see from those guys this spring and today, obviously with some big shoes to fill at that position.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be a spotlight on that because of what we lost with Icky, and we're a long ways from naming a starter. These guys are practicing hard. They're playing well. I think there's room to grow. I think all these reps are critical for Anthony, and every rep he gets, he's going to continue to get better. We love his measurables, his consistency, his work ethic. He's very long. He's a tough kid. He can bend. And then Tim McKay and Bryson Spees, give us two more guys that can rotate, and Jaleel's getting better. So, but there's progress that needs to be made. I think once we get everybody healthy, get Grant Gibson back out there as well, I think the experience in that group is a strength as well, and those guys will help them.
And Todd Gibson.
Yeah, Dave, the expectations for this team are kind of through the roof right now. Leading into next season, how nice is that? Do you think it'll motivate the guys as they head into next season with some time off coming up?
Yeah, they're very motivated. I think they've heard about what you're talking about since we got back, and the way too early everything. I think we got to watch that happen across the road at that other school, and we understand that if you don't take care of business, it doesn't matter what people say about you. So our guys have a chip on their shoulder. They're very motivated. We didn't get to the ACC championship, as you guys know, last year. We got a lot to prove still. So I think you'll see a very motivated roster when we get back out there.
All right, the real beard, Rob McLam.
Yes, sir. I was wondering how you felt about your depth going into 2022, the 2 deep and the 3 deep.
Well, we've improved our depth this spring. I think getting the long-term injured guys from the fall out of the mix and allowing these younger players to get soaked this spring helps to create, some competitive depth in fall camp. It'll be fun to see, when we get Peyton and Isaiah and that whole crew back out there, because I'm really impressed with like the growth of Jalen Parker and that guy really didn't play at all last year for us. And now he's a guy that we can look at and see what he can bring to the table with Levi Jones leaving. So I feel good about it. There's positions, left tackle being one of them, where we still got a lot of things we've got to figure out, from a depth standpoint. But I like, as a roster, I like the growth we've made, I guess you'd say, from the 3s and the 2s.
And last question. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, Dave, kind of getting back to the depth and the expectations again. To be a great program, is it hard to sustain something like this? I know you want to carry this on in year after years. How hard is it to get to this point and sustain something like this?
Yeah, it can be hard. I think a lot of it depends on guys that come back or guys that leave early too. Some of it's unpredictable for us right now with roster management the way it is. So, it's not like it used to be when you had a senior, you knew he was done. You don't know who could come back for an extra year or whom they declare early. And, so it's kind of hard to think that far ahead, to be honest. You just do the best you can filling your roster. And at the end of the year, you see who's leaving and you go out and try to fill it back up again, so it is a challenge, but our roster management's never been like this, in college football, not just for us, for everybody. And it's unique.
Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time.
All right. Thank you.
And if you guys hold